Hello, everyone. My name is Katie of our GreenlandQuilter channel, and with me tonight is, of course, my husband, Nikolai. Tonight, we're just going to do a couple hours of sewing. I'm sorry that I pushed this back 30 minutes. My youngest granddaughter wanted to talk to me, and then they were running late, so I didn't get to talk to her for very long, and I told her I had to go work, and she got kind of upset about that. So she was not happy hanging up. So hopefully we'll get to talk to her tomorrow. Her birthday is next month on June the 9th, and she's going to be 5 years old. I cannot believe that. So now I have a 5-year-old, almost 5-year-old, almost 9-year-old. Ava just turned, not Ava. Arya just turned 7? I think so. Yeah, I think it's 7. And the oldest one is now 13. I just don't know where all the time is going. So how is everyone doing today? Honey, do you want to come say hi to them?
Hi, everyone.
So what are you going to work on tonight, baby?
Apparently I have mixed 2 bags of Lego vehicles together. So I have at the same time building them, and of course I have ordered some spare parts, and I'm trying to add it to those that was broken.
Okay. So it's going to take you a little while to separate the different sets?
Yeah, well, I already kind of separated them, but I'll build them up when they're done, separate them.
Okay. Okay. Well, those of you that were with us last night, if you weren't there last night and you haven't watched our replay, then you didn't get to see me and Nikolai build what he bought me for my birthday. And I'm going to show it to you if I can get it without dropping it. Anyway, for those who haven't seen this, here it is in all its glory. Babe, can you turn that ring light on? I forgot to turn it on. So here it is. This is what we did on the live last night. And of course, Nikolai won and ended up doing the E too, because I was too slow doing the L. But I knew that was going to happen because I'm good. I think I did a good job last night. Don't you think so, babe?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have too much difficulty. There was a couple of times where he had to come and help me see what I did wrong, but it went together very well. And this thing is beautiful, and I am so tickled about it. And I can't wait to put it in our craft room when we get our craft room set up. And I don't know exactly. It'll go on a shelf. I do know that, but I don't know. We're going to figure it out because I have this and I have a couple other sets of Legos that I can do letters with. So, yeah, there's that. So, anyway, this is the Lego. All right. Let me say hello to people in the chat. And then I have a little tiny mail opening. As you know, I haven't been getting much mail lately, which really sucks. All right. Hi, Robin. Robin was here first today. And hey, Sherry. Hello, Myra. Good to see you. Hey, you can come with us if you want, right? If Myra wants to hop on?
Yeah.
Myra, if you want to hop, can you send her the Zoom link? Oh, you have to email. Never mind. I have to email it to her. Myra, if you want to come on, let me know, and I'll send the information to you. So what I'm going to do is I got a couple of things from Great Greenland. I've got some mail envelopes from none other than Ian from Off Quilter Crafter. Someone sent me. Oh, I got a postcard from Tammy from the Siberian Wind. And I have 2 envelopes from Sweetwater. She said she'd love to. All right, give me 1 minute and let me send you an email. Okay. So in the meantime, y'all tell me what you've been doing. And Sherry, how you been? You and I have not got to talk in forever. Hey, Cindy, welcome, welcome. All right. Let me get this email sent to Myra, because I know she'd be happy to talk to Nikolai. Can you please let me look? All right, there we go. Okay. Uh-oh. Got to send an email, so bear with me here for just a minute, please. All right. I'll send an email to Myra. Anchor. No. E-O-O-M. Oh, that actually copied right for a change. That's surprising. Oh, it's going to give me. Really?
Technical issues.
This keyboard does not have an up and down arrow key on the keyboard, which messes me up when I need to go back up to the top of something. Actually, it aggravates me, in fact, because I'm used to just doing things the way I always do it. All right, now I need to get the Zoom link. There's that. Almost there, and then I can get back to what we were doing.
Almost there.
Oh,
Careful. Darth Vader will come after you, though.
who?
Darth Vader.
Why?
Remember? Almost there. Almost there. Guess what happened? Kaboom! You're dead.
No, I don't remember that in the movie. I came on to watch you guys live yesterday, but you guys were already off. Yeah, we went, what, 2 hours and a half, babe? I think it was 2.5.
Nearly 2 hours.
Or it was nearly 2 hours. Yeah, because we built the Legos, what we did. Okay. I'm going to show you first what I got from Great Greenland a couple days ago when we were down there. I have video that I have made of the shop and everything. And we'll be talking about that. One of the things I wanted to share with you guys is they sell swatches sealskin colors, and I'm hoping that this I'm going to spotlight with the smaller camera because I think this one will be the most accurate with the colors. So yeah, I'm going to start at the beginning of this. So this is, oh, it just let me see if the laptop's more approval of the colors. It can't tell either. That's funny. Anyway, this is green. It's called Callista Green. Hot Chili. Wow, it doesn't even see the colors. Oh, the other camera does though. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to figure out how to get the sealskin where you can see it. Okay. So this one's called Hot Chili. This one is called Chocolate, which is a brown. This is golden brown, and these are all looking dark on the camera. You see this, babe?
Yeah.
They all look dark. You can't tell the colors. Anyway, the only one you might could tell is this yellow. But anyway, the colors that you have in here are like golden, brown, chocolate, hot chili, which is a reddish color, Callista green, an ash color, lemon color, a dark blue. I can't read this one here. That looks like it's in Danish. And this looks like a different kind of, it might be a gray and a black and ice blue. Go, yeah. So anyway, they sell these. You can actually, if you're a tourist and you're in the shop, you can buy these little swatches. Okay. And they make these swatches so people who like to sew with sealskin can see what colors are offered that are dyed, because those are dyed sealskin. Other thing I picked up is this really cool magnet. I hadn't seen them, but isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Hey, Myra. Yeah, it all looks black.
Hey.
Sorry, guys. I'll have to take the swatches outside and take pictures of it and share it with you guys. But anyway, this is an example of some of the stuff I buy in the shop. And this is actually a magnet. It has, magnets on the back. And it's very heavy. I don't know what kind of metal they made it from. But it also has on the side of the metal, it says Great Greenland on it. So, and this was not terribly expensive. Okay, so next thing I'm going to show you is I got a postcard from Tammy from the Siberian Wind. Yeah, pretty cute. It took a long time to get here. I'm really having fun with this camera. So it says, thanks for celebrating with me. Happy Valentine's Day. See, this was sent in February. Okay, the next thing I have was, yeah, a long time. So I got two envelopes from Ian, and their stickers is what they are. So I'm going to share the stickers with you that came in here, because during QuiltCon they give stickers to people when they see each other, and some of us couldn't go to QuiltCon. So here's the first one, and this is based on a quilt top he made. I don't remember the name of it. Then there's this one of him falling down. And here's the one that everybody should love, because he made a quilt with this. I love it. All right. And the other one is stickers from Becca. I'm pretty sure of it. For those who hadn't seen stickers, I'm sure you have by now. Okay, this one says mistakes are design opportunities. And the next one says sew it up, Buttercup. And the next one says patch me if you can.
Ooh,
really cute.
Patch me. I like that.
Yep, me too. And then let's look at the Sweetwater labels. So this one's from the first one I'm gonna show you is from February, and this one came, I think, yesterday. So March is missed, or this is March's. So I haven't gotten April's yet. Oh, I thought I had already cut this where I didn't have to do this to it. Okay, so let's get it open, and we'll see what this label looks like, because I hadn't even looked at them. So this is from sweetwaterco.com. And these are 2 quilt labels. I have a subscription, so every month I get quilt labels. And then, so there's 2 here that you can use. And it says, happiness is a quilt, with my name on it. And then the second one, which was probably March's, and this one has small ones on it, 4 small ones.
Oh, nice.
So these are all that you can sew onto your quilt, or, well, they have iron-on stuff on the back of them, but I like to piece mine into my quilt. So, if someone wanted to try to rip it off, they're going to have a hard time, because they would have to literally rip the quilt, because I piece it in with my block. After I've ironed it or pressed it on, then I make a block out of it. So it has sides that's been sewn onto it. So that's how I do it. Okay, there we go. All right. Now I'm going to take the spotlight off, and yeah, I want Myra to say hello to everybody, and then I'm gonna go back to the channel. Hey, Myra.
So nice to be here. Katie, I wanted to tell you, when you were doing your live of the icebergs,
Yeah.
my mom's caregiver, Virginia, and I, mother was napping and we were watching it and she was just in awe and we were both just so thrilled to see it all. It was so beautiful. Just wanted to give you a shout out for that because, I am coming. I know you don't believe me, but I am coming to Greenland. And Nico, I've missed you, darling. I need one of your hugs and nothing untoward. Katie's always right there,
I ain't
as
worried
is
about
my husband.
I ain't worried about
No,
yeah, I was to
for
say
the
we're
people that
one
don't
big
know
happy
us,
family.
yeah, we really are. And so I want to give a shout out to not only Robin, but Sylvia's in here with Denise and who else did I miss? Somebody, Patty. Hey, Patty. So I'll just
Patty.
be keeping an eye on the chat and want everybody to know welcome. And hey, sis, I miss you and I love your hair.
Oh, I miss you too. And yep, I didn't feel like having it down today.
When are you coming, Myra?
You hear that?
When am I coming? I don't know. I don't know. Every other month being mom's caregiver is
Well, right now I wouldn't fly through Newark anyway, because that's where the flights will be going through. And right now they're having issues up there in Newark, if you haven't heard. Something to do with the traffic controller towers or something is going on up there and it's causing a whole lot of trouble. Anyway, how's your mom doing?
she's down to 97. And when she saw that on the scales, I think it freaked her out because we went out to eat last night at a lovely place in Lynn Haven, Florida called Simply Seafood. I get no
Been
kickbacks.
there.
And we had crab, snow crab. We each had a cluster and we had potatoes and corn and it was wonderful. And she ate everything. I couldn't believe. I thought the woman is going to be bursting because she hasn't eaten that good in ages. But then
Wow.
today she's eaten nothing except for her little pastry. And yeah, she's been in bed since noon. So,
I'm sorry,
it's
Steve.
up, it's down, and it's just the way it is at 91.
Yep.
But thank you for asking. And,
I just want to make sure you were all right. I hadn't seen you or talked to you in the last few days. So, of course, I get busy here and forget to check on people sometimes. But I was so excited about being down at the harbor. I just, I know in the video I might have repeated myself about 100 billion times about how much I love being down there around the icebergs. And someone made a comment last night that they didn't understand what the fascination was with it. You have to be there to understand what it really is like because Myra's known me a long time, so she knows when I get excited about something, it's something. And she knows my love of nature anyway. And, it's so hard to try to come across about what it's like and, why Greenland needs to be protected from the wolves, and because, once it's gone, it's gone. Then, if the ice cap continues on its path, our great grandkids may never see ice like that again. So, it's a good thing to see. Okay. So what am I going to work on tonight? We're back to the triangles. So, yeah, I wanted to do something where I didn't have to think too much. And to refresh everybody's memory, this is the foundation paper for 50 different paper piece scrappy triangles, 6-inch size. And this is to Layla Gardunia. In the description box of this live is the webpage for her paper piecing stuff. She has so many different things you can do with your scraps. And for those of you who, and don't take this wrong, Myra, for those of you who are very OCD, this is the thing to do with your scraps. Seriously.
It's me. She's talking about me.
If you can't do scraps, just mix and match and stuff. Well, not mix and match, but what I mean is there's improv where you just throw everything together and do whatever you want to do. There's string quilt making of blocks. Same thing. You're just sewing things together. This particular thing with these foundation is you can take one side and use a background, and the other side is where your scraps are coming from. And it's each block will be different because you're using, the idea of this is to use your scraps. But this is a more organized way of doing it, because when you get all of these together, when you get ready to put all these together, you have that same background on every one of these blocks. And you can make stars with them. Huh?
Excuse me, are those little lines, is that four different pieces of fabric, or does that blue have lights on the edges? Do you know what I mean?
No, that's 4 different pieces of fabric.
Awesome.
So let
So
me show
you
you.
even use thin, long ones. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. As you get through the packet, let me show you some of the packet. As you get through the packet, some pages get more, I would say more mechanically technical, maybe. So here, I'm just going to thumb through here so you can you see this okay? Let me spotlight, that would help. Because when I'm looking, I don't see anything. Except a blurry, here we go. All right. So here's what some of these papers look like. Cool. And see how it changes?
Whoa, mama. Okay, yeah.
And then you're going to go to the next one. And this one's different.
Oh.
So basically making a scrappy quilt, but this side of this triangle is your background that you want to use through the whole thing. Over here, you can be as creative and colorful as you want to be. If you don't want to use bunches of different colors, but you have scraps of 4 or 5 different colorways that match each other, and that's the way you can actually do that with this. You're the creator of this. They've just supplied the design. And you're going to see this. It's foundation paper piecing, and you just see here, look. And they're all different designs. Now she does sell this foundation patterns in PDF format. Should you want to print it out or print specific ones out so that you have all of them. Like if you, for an example, say you like this design and you want your whole quilt to use just this design. If you have the PDF, then you can find out what page this one is on and print it multiple times for your foundation paper piecing and go with that if that's what you want to do. I'm going to use, and this one comes, this package here, this came in my Cotton Cuts Rosa Your Way Holiday Notions box. And when I first saw it, I kind of ignored it because I thought it was just a triangle papers. And then, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, when I introduced this the first time, I was looking for something in the box. I was after a notepad, is what I was after. And I'm like, wait a minute, why do those triangles look different? But if you look at it, you can see it's scrappy triangles. All right. Hey, Sylvia. Hello, friend. Hello, Denise. Hello, everyone. So anyway, this is a really great way to use scraps if you want to be organized about it. And I'm doing it because I have put a poll up so y'all can answer it too, but I think it'll be fun to see what this is going to turn out to look like. I mean, mine's going to be more scrappy, but it's still going to have this blue here. And this blue is so beautiful. I have been sitting on this. I think I have 5 yards of this. And I have been sitting on it for 4 or 5 years because every time I went to think I was going to use it, then I changed my mind because I didn't want to cut it. I'm finally cutting it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out one triangle because what you do is you pre-cut triangles, which is what I've already done. I've already done that, and I'm going to take one out. And then what I'm going to do is pull out some scraps. And let's see, we're going to do this page right here with the half square inside of what looks like quarter triangles. So I'll be doing this one. and we'll see how it goes with it. What is that book called? It's called Foundation Paper. Here, let me show it to you first. And then I'll read it to you. It's called Foundation Papers for 50 Different Paper Piece Scrappy Triangles. This is a 6-inch finished block size by Layla Gardunia. And hold on, I'll get the link. I have posted the link also in the description box of this live. I've done that too. But let me go over and fetch you a link. Okay. Cool.
Shirley in Alaska.
Hey, Shirley.
I've never been to Greenland, y'all, but I spent 4 years in teen years from 10 to 14 in Alaska, southern Alaska, but we were blessed to be able to go see a few glaciers during our time there. And it's really true. They're breathtaking, and you can't understand the magnitude and the beauty. I mean, they're pretty on TV, they're pretty on these lives, but to really see them in real time, real life is breathtaking.
It's an experience of a lifetime. Yeah. I mean,
it really is. It's so different.
Yep. And I know that I've lived here for 14 years, almost 14 years. And I never ever tire of seeing them because they're a wonderment, because every one of them are different from each other. And
absolutely.
The one you saw on the live, that one was a huge one for down here. But out across the water, when I was talking about the one that had the gate in it, come to find out that gated one, because it turned where we couldn't see the gate, I thought it was an iceberg in front of it. Come to find out, the whole thing was all one piece. So it did at one time have a top on it. So, it's like, this is fine. Because I thought another iceberg had moved in front of it. But what it had done is it had turned, and because they all were one piece, when it turned, it blocked the view of that very small gate that we were seeing. And when a gate is a hole through an iceberg where you can see all the way through it. In case anybody doesn't understand the term gate, not all icebergs have gates. And so when we see one, we're all out there trying to get pictures of it. Why does that say $25 on there now?
John, good to have you here, sweetie. It's Myra.
She jacked the prices up.
So while y'all are looking at that, I'm missing camping. Can you see? It's Mickey Mouse.
Oh, you're down at Disney?
No, but I wish I was.
You're with your mother. Never mind. I don't know why I asked that question.
Hey, babe.
Ugh.
Say hi
You better
to
come
Nico
back
and Katie. Yeah, from Greenland, baby. Say hi, Kathy.
Oh.
Hi there.
They're waving. We're on Zoom together, love. I love you, baby. I'll call you later, okay? I'll call you later, okay? Love you more. Bye.
Okay, the first link I'm posting is actually from Layla Gardunia's webpage. And I'm also going to post Fat Quarter Shop one, because the Fat Quarter Shop one is a little bit cheaper. But y'all buy with your conscience on which one you want to support. All right, hold on. I'm going to get the Fat Quarter Shop one too. It's the same pieces, but at least you can go mosey around Layla's page, because, like I said, she sells these triangles also as a PDF, which is a good thing, because I went ahead and bought the PDF because there was several things all together with it, and I am going to be playing with her triangles pretty often for a while, until I get tired of them anyway. which I don't see that happening anytime soon. Okay, so here's the Fat Quarter Shop one. So the one, if you buy it from Fat Quarter Shop, it is a tiny bit cheaper than if you buy it from Layla's website. But if you don't want to buy the papers and just want the PDF, your best bet's to buy the PDF. That way you can print multiple times off of it. It's up to you. Was that your honey?
Oh, me?
No. Who called her?
I'm sure, I think that's so.
Hey, Shirley. All right. Hey, Mary G. All right. Fabric. Let's see what I'm going to pick. Let me see. I already think I know what I want to use. This is going to come into play. All right. We're going to get, I think I want to use a little bit of purple, maybe. Put that there, and then we need a hot color. Yeah, let's use yellow.
Mary.
I think these might be big enough. Let's see if they are or not. Yep, I think this might be big enough. Okay. If not, then we can use a different color, or I can get a bigger piece. Okay. All right. So we got purple, yellow, yellow, orange, and the this is teal, I think, not turquoise.
My favorite.
I like this. This one's pretty. I really like this one.
I really,
Okay.
really like that.
Yeah, me too. I bought it a yard of it, and I've been slowly using it on different bigger projects. So now I'm starting to have like pieces of it, and I'm like, okay, we get to use it as scraps on these parts. So I'm gonna go over and press these real quick under the iron, and then I'm gonna figure out how I'm going to trim these down to fit this paper. So give me a second here. All right.
So while she's ironing, I'm going to tell you about my latest thing. I set up, not that anybody cares, but I want her to hear, so y'all get here too. So I set up my PVC quilting frame that I bought on our marketplace, our local marketplace. And it's PVC, and then it has a piece of PVC that is not whole that clamps on top, but I couldn't get it to clamp on top. I don't have the strength in my hands to go over the 2 pieces of paper or 2 pieces of fabric and the very thin batting that make up my sandwich. So my dad, who passed away 4 years ago and was a quilter, had these 2-inch spring clips, but when I put them on, they would pop off. They held it really good, but they would pop off. So because they were too wide, so I ordered 3-inch ones, or maybe 4. I don't remember which. Anyway, I ordered bigger ones, and they came last Sunday. And so now I have my grandson's snuggle quilt. It's bigger than a crib quilt, but it's just for snuggling on the, watching TV or whatever. Anyway, it was a panel, and I added like 8 inches all around. So it's bigger than a crib. But anyway, I have it on there, and I really love trapunto, although I'm not going to do trapunto, which for anybody that doesn't know, that's sewing around a shape and stuffing it so that it pops. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to sew around the dinosaur shapes and the palm tree shapes before I just quilt it in the sides in straight lines with my machine. Because I really, really like to hand sew, but the thought of hand sewing a full quilt is too daunting. But just, little bits at a time is not daunting to me. It's exciting. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And she's back.
Yep, I'm here. I was listening while I labeled this paper.
I know.
So I'm marking the back of it. It's warm in here, honey. Didn't take long for the lights to heat up the house. No, the wind's not blowing. That's why. We had a doggone bitterrock of all things, where was it 2 days, 3 days, right, babe? Yeah, 2.5 days, something like that. So, when y'all saw the live of us down at the harbor with all that ice, it was warm enough that I could have gotten away with a lighter jacket than what you saw me on. But sometimes, if I regret sometimes of not dressing warmer because when the wind comes, I get cold because that's usually when it bothers me. And anyhow, that day was warm. It was 40, I think it was 44 degrees according to the computer and Fahrenheit, and it was beautiful. And so the next day we were planning on doing some work where we had to go into the boiler room, and we were moving things from basically I needed to move my flower pots out of the house, and I was going to move them to the boiler room. And we go walking around the back side of the house, and it's like windy and cold. I mean, as soon as I walked out the door, I'm like, honey, doesn't it feel cold? He says, yep. And we got around on the back side of the house, which faces the north, and oh my God, it was so cold. And then by that night, we had gale force winds happening, and this whole side of the house was cold because I had done the thing my husband told me not to do. I had already turned the thermostat down, so it can't compete with that wind when you do that. Okay,
yes, you in trouble.
He's like, I told you. I'm like, I know you were going to tell me I told you so.
But you never listen to what I told her, though.
I can't. It's not that I'll listen. It's just I get tired of being hot.
I know, but I told you the wind will come back.
I know you did. I know you did. You're always right. We're not arguing, y'all. We're just he's just having a little fun at my expense.
Which isn't hard to do.
Nope, it's not. I can get excited.
You.
I love you too. I want to make sure I get this covered right because I got to sew the. So what it is I got to do one and two is this half square. This half square triangle right here. And I need to make sure that I have enough coverage since I'm doing this unconventionally. I mean, I could cut triangles and make sure they all line up, but I just would rather use my scraps and not have to do extra cutting. Okay. Now then, I wanted this to go down here in this corner like this. So I need
I've done paper piecing like she's doing. I never, ever, not ever have. So this is fascinating to me. So y'all write in and let us know how many of you are familiar with paper piecing, and probably all of y'all, because I'm so new.
Yeah.
And Laura got her long arm set up. I'm really, really excited for you.
Yeah,
my dad had one, but not any longer. Mother sold it.
I want to see. So maybe you'll share a picture over on the GreenlandQuilter page, Facebook page. I'm going to cut this triangle in half.
Yeah, Terry, I think they're probably 4-inch or 3-inch. And yeah, I got them on Amazon too. What would we do without our children, Laura, helping you move? It's awesome. Joyce, welcome, welcome.
How you doing, Joyce?
Hi, Joyce.
So it's good to see y'all. I am taking too long here.
You just take your time. Though I do wish you'd switch it to Spotlight so I could really see what you're doing. Not that I don't love seeing your face, because I do.
It's okay, no problem. Let's see here. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm going to cheat a little bit because I don't want to stick a pin in this just yet. So I used a little glue stick. Compliments of, this was given to me, I think, in a sampler box or something. And it's been sitting in a drawer for what seems like forever.
What is it?
It's a glue stick by Line. And once the iron hits it, it will disappear.
Awesome.
Okay, now I'm going to stick a pin in it. Where's my pin? I moved everything around here. Now I can't find anything.
So may I ask a question?
Sure.
So you're going to do 1/4-inch seams probably, but is that built in the paper template or?
Yes, yes, it is. And I'm going to show,
Okay.
I have what they call a 1/4-inch, really, just so everybody knows. In fact, we're going to talk about this ruler. I'm going to come off spotlight so we can talk about this ruler for a minute. Okay.
Sure.
You have two, when you're paper piecing, the industry sells things like this ruler right here. Now mine's a small one. This is one of the first ones that came, actually this is the first line that they sent out. But on the back of it is a lip. And when you put the lip on the seam, it sits right on the seam. And then you just trim. And I'll show you how I'm going to use this on the when I spotlight again. Now they have bigger ones. I have a bigger one. I just kind of don't know where it's at. It might have got sucked out the window during the storm. I don't know. I've tried to find it. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere in that room. And it may turn up or it may not. I don't know. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I did find the small one. But you do not have to spend money on this. This came in a sampler box. That's why I have one. You can use any of your rulers because it has a 1/4-inch on there already. And all you need to do is line that 1/4-inch on that seam and trim. There's no reason to spend extra money, especially if you're strapped for money, when you already have something that you can use to trim with. So I'm putting that out there. Would I have bought this? Probably not. Because I already have, these creative grid rulers are so expensive. And when you spend money on rulers that cost so much, I tend to don't want to buy extra rulers and then only use them once or twice in a year. I mean, what's the point? These ones I use a lot. So, but I'm just putting it out there. You can either do it like this or you can just use a ruler. Either one works either way, and I'll show you how it works when I get this sewn. So let me get a foot on here. Did I miss any questions in the chat? Hey, Laura Sup, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I hope you're feeling good. She's still recovering from that fracture. I do know that. Okay, I need a different foot. So when you're doing paper piecing, you don't do the standard way of doing this. You need to put your needle in the center because you're going to be sewing down these sew lines that are built into the paper piecing. I'm going to set my stitch length to 1.7. I think that's tight enough. And I pin this on the back side of the paper piecing because that's how you do it. And you pin it so that the right sides face each other. So this is the right side and this is the right side. Now, when you turn the paper around, you're going to see a sew line here. And all you do is follow that sew line across. And I'll go ahead and spotlight this now.
Did you find the foot?
I found the foot. Do you know where it was at?
Nope.
It was just under the edge of the sofa. I was so lucky I hadn't run over it with the chair.
Yes.
See, I knocked it was inside my pin bowl, and I knocked the pin bowl on the floor.
I was about to give you my foot for that.
Yeah, I just bet you were. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew on the front side of this. And basically, we're sewing 1 and 2 together is what we're doing. What in the world? Uh-oh, we have a sewing machine problem. have a nest. That's unusual. You know, I think my sewing machine needs a cleaning from the professionals. But I can't send it right now. I just can't do that. Not happening. Oh, wow. The stitch was even very loose. Interesting. Hang on a minute, y'all. I need a seam ripper. Good thing. I was messing with my machine. Hey, Myra, did you hear about how many needles I pulled out of the bottom of my machine?
Whoa.
15.
Why?
Because they fell down in, but they fell on my presser foot plate. There is a screw hole where you can screw apparatuses on. That's part of the machine, and the screw hole is just big enough for my itty bitty pins to fall through. I thought maybe there might have been 5 or 6. There was 15 in there.
About pins, or are you talking about needles?
Great pins.
Straight pins, I love it. Sorry, that's hilarious.
Yep.
I'm at Mama's house, and Mama's got these big, huge honker ones that will not go down, I don't think. Will not go down in the hole of my, no, will not fit down the hole of my machine.
Well, what it is I like to use those extra fine straight pins because I like how thin they are. And they
Yeah,
don't,
they're nice.
they're very, and they're sharp. But the downside is they fall through the holes. That sounded kind of naughty.
You could have said they fall in the cracks. That would have been.
Yeah, that would have been even worse.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. Looks like you're cooking with gas.
Yeah, it looks like it's all right. Yeah, it is. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the back side where I had put them all together. Hang on a minute. Yeah, okay, but I'm going to put it up close to the camera. You see how I have more than a 1/4 inch seam allowance right here? I hope everybody can see that. Maybe.
Yeah, babe.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the paper back. Well, I'm going to remove the straight pin. Okay, I'm going to fold we're on that seam line. I'm going to fold it backwards so that you can see the seam allowance. Now, if you want to use this one, and I'm going to show you what I mean about how you can snug it up to the seam. When you put it down here, the lip of this ruler will be right here. You can't move it that way because the lip keeps you from doing that. And you can trim this with this ruler. But as I was pointing out earlier, you can also do the same thing with a regular ruler. You just have to, it's not going to lock onto the seam because there's not a lip on it. But you can still do the same thing with these rulers as this ruler who's cost you more money. You know, just saying. So if you want to save money, you can use just your standard ruler. Just
with your standard ruler, will you pull that down to the edge of the white thing with your standard ruler?
Well, I see with this Creative Grids ruler, it has like a shading along the 1/4 inch side. And I just line it up with the seam line and I just trim on the right-hand side of it. Now I need a bigger ruler.
So you want a 1/4 inch. You don't want to cut that level with that bend. No, okay, I'm sorry. I got you.
You just want to find your 1/4 inch seam, 1/4 inch on your ruler, and you line 1/4 inch with where you bent the paper back, which is the seam line.
Okay.
And you trim. That's all you have to do.
I see. Yeah, perfect. Gotcha. I'm with you now.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all. It takes me a little while to really understand because this is also kind of like math to me, which I have a mental block that I have to overcome.
And as you can see, I'm just using a regular ruler instead of the one with the lip on it. But it's up to you. It's up to you whether you can afford it or not. Like I said, this one I have, which is the original, very first one they came out with, came in a sew sampler box. I think the pink one I have, if I can find the darn thing, which is a little bit longer than this one. And the part down here on the bottom part of the ruler that doesn't have the lip on it's thinner. And Kimberly uses that one a lot because it's thinner and she can fold the paper back. She uses it to fold the paper back. You saw me bending the paper back manually. She uses the ruler to do that with it. And let me make sure this is not going to be, oh, it's fine. And you don't have to do this perfectly because you're going to trim this overall in the end. Where's my seam roller? Here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend it, or yeah, go back this way with it. Finger press with the seam roller. And then what I'm going to do is I have to go to the other side here, and I need to trim this too. Now, some people won't trim it, and they'll wait till they add that, which is the last part of this. They'll add that and then trim it down. But I like to trim it down so I can see the 1/4 inch line. And that way I know I won't have wasted part of a triangle by not lining it up properly. So we all do it differently from each other.
You know about the challenge?
What challenge?
My challenge?
Oh, no, she doesn't know. Well, I think I told her I was going to do it because I only told one person, and I think it was her. I told you about what I wanted to do that Nikolai agreed to, didn't I, Myra? Do you remember? Or no? Maybe it wasn't you.
I think it was.
I think it was too. So the other day, it was hilarious actually. You're gonna laugh when you hear this. Someone says, I can't remember who it was, and whoever's in here, which one of you brought it up, let me know. Asked me, because she knew we were going to do a live with the Lego Love Block kit. She asked me, she says, are you going to ask Nikolai to sew with you on a live one night? And I laughed because I'm like, how would she even, it was like she already knew the answer to it. So anyway, we're doing that. You want to do it next week, right?
Yeah.
I just got to get this Singer machine out. I hope it's okay. If not, you're going to be doing it on my machine. And I get to sit and play tutor. Anyway, Nikolai's going to sew on a live. And I already think we're going to do a jelly roll. Because I think that would be fun. Because he can sew 3 pieces of the jelly roll together. And then we can subcut into a certain length and width. And then when he gets ready to sew all these blocks together, he can turn them in different directions. So we're not worrying about matching up things. You told me to Katie. Yeah, Sherry. I knew it was someone I told. Because I knew it was only 1 or 2 people I had mentioned it. So when we do the live, you guys get to ask Nikolai quilty questions too. You hear what he said? Oh boy. What I'm doing is I'm checking that I'm going to go ahead and trim this on both sides to get rid of this excess that I have here so I don't have to deal with it. Okay, so I'm going to bend it back and do the same thing on this side. Put a seam allowance on it. Can you see what I'm doing, Myra?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Uh-oh, what the heck? I had to take the table off my sewing machine because it was damaging my sewing machine. I contacted Janome about it, and when they got back to, when the sellers got back to me with it, she says you need to clean the machine because that doesn't look like metal. And I wrote back and I said, lady, I did clean the machine and that is most certainly metal. So they're not going to do anything about it. So now I have raw metal showing on my machine.
So until you can do something more permanent, and you guys holler at me if I'm telling her something bad, but I would put clear nail polish on it.
I don't have any nail polish in this house. I don't even know if I could buy clear nail polish.
Nail polish?
Yeah, clear nail polish.
Like
fingernail polish, like girls wear.
I'm sure the stores have it.
I don't know if they do or not, or clear at least. They might have the colored stuff, but I don't know.
Clear is my go-to for everything.
Yeah.
Stops oxidization, stops rust, stops bad rings turning green, earrings, yeah. Like on my big fat Greek wedding, the dad and his Windex. Well, I'm kind of that way with clear nail polish.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we have to sew on 3 to this side. And I'm not going to bother to cut this part right now. You see, I have a big piece because I'm going to end up using the other part of it on the other side. And all I'm going to do is turn it face down, line it up, stick a pin in it, and then I'll sew it. And then I'll come back and trim it down. Now, I could just do like this, cut it in half right here. I could do that. But let's get it sewn on here first before I start doing that.
Plating.
Yeah. This one's not a rail fence, no. This one's got half square triangles in it along with quarter triangle. I don't know even what you call this, half block. Okay, we got that done, and I'll go ahead now that I've got it sewn on here. I can go ahead and trim one side of it because I'm going to use it on the other side. And I'm just going to take my scissors. Let me make sure I don't do any, yeah. And I'm just going to cut it. I'll get multiple use out of this small piece of fabric, scrap. Okay, now I've cut it off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it this way. Okay. Then I'm going to go back over here on the back. You see how we have this quarter triangle right here? I'm going to bend the paper back so nobody gets confused here. Turn it around where you can see what I'm doing. Put the quarter trimmer on here. Line it up with that seam allowance. And then I'm going to cut this. I'll make sure I didn't cut something off I wasn't supposed to. Just double checking myself. Nora, golly, she's been gassing me for 2 days. Okay, so now I've got this part of the triangle done. Quarter triangle right here. Okay, now I'm going to take this other half and do the same thing where when I fold it over, it will cover the whole thing. Okay, so let's pin it.
Did that little triangle that you laid on the keyboard not fit there?
No, it's not big. I don't think it's big enough without it becoming too short. By the time I put that on, nope, it's not. Because this is just a small smidget of scrap. I could have cut triangles that would actually fit on here, but I don't want to do that because that's an extra step that I just would rather not do. But it would work out better if I did. But
It's working out great.
Yeah, I think it's doing fine, just like this. We'll have this block done here in short order.
Just fine. But what do I know? Huh?
No, well, we all have our own way of doing things, and I know that I'm not doing it the way it should be done. You know, I don't have a teacher to teach me stuff. This is me learning as I go along. The quilt Nico will be doing sounds like a rail fence. Oh, gotcha, Robin. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do because I think that would be simple enough for him to do.
Learning one.
Yeah, a good learning one. Yeah.
I'm moving to another, Nico. You can do a rail fence, buddy.
I think he can do a rail fence too. I didn't know the name of it, but.
You want me to spoil it?
Spoil what?
Spoiler alert.
What's the spoiler alert?
During my youth, school time during my youth, I've been going through the cooking lessons and sewing lessons.
I think that's funny, but cool. I mean, I had a home economics class too. I just want to know if they're still doing that with the young people. Okay, and now I have this side done. So I'm going to go over and press it real quick. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to press it and then we're going to add what's left to add on here. See how that came out so far? Okay.
Questions? Your purple triangles are encroaching on your teal fabric.
Yeah, which is okay because teal and purple do go together.
They go together beautifully, but as evidenced by my one and only tattoo, which is a teal ribbon and a purple ribbon for suicide prevention.
Yeah.
But like the points, are the points supposed to match up? And I'm not being critical. I'm inquiring minds want to know.
Okay, so on the back here, there is a trim line right here. It says trim on the dotted line. And then the solid line here that you see is going to be where you're going to do your 1/4 inch when you join a block together. And by the time you do that, that point will be sitting there that you're talking about. Because can you see the point right here on the paper? Hang on.
Yes, I saw it on the paper, which is why I was a little concerned that it wasn't on the other side.
So when I trim, well, I'll be trimming this block down to this dash line next.
Sure.
Together. When I get ready to sew it together, we'll be sewing on the solid line.
Okay.
And the point will be there then.
And that'll pull it in. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet everybody on the chat knew that but me, but.
No, it's okay. It's a good question. It's actually a great question. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take my solid blue one with all these cool little effects on it, and I'm going to line this up with that 1/4 inch seam. And I cut these triangles just a little bit bigger so that I could trim down. I don't do that to everything, but with this, because I knew there could be a misalignment, very easy for me to do a misalignment, and I didn't want to do that.
Is that right sides together?
Yep.
Wow,
this is very vibrant batik.
Yeah, the back side's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, you can't tell the difference between the front or the back. They look the same. This particular one anyway does. And that's why I had such a hard time wanting to cut it, because I'm like, I want to cut it. It's so beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It is. And I'm like, yeah, it's time to use it. I mean, I'm using it in a strange way because I'm using it in a scrappy quilt, but that's okay. Because I figured it would, help draw the colors out, because this is a really dark blue anyway.
Cynthia, is it called life skills? Home ec called life skills at your school? Some schools call it life skills, and they teach a little bit of everything.
What do they call that class, honey?
What?
That you took when you were in school?
Cooking. We just do like a what?
I mean, was it called life skills? Was it called a home economics class, or?
No, just like cooking.
Oh, so it was cooking with sewing.
Yeah. It's more like we cook, like just cooking or baking, whatever we.
I think you don't understand the question.
Yeah, I know, but
what was the name of the class itself?
Can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been long ago.
It's a few years, Just saying.
Yeah, because in middle school they called it home economics, and usually you would get cooking, sewing, learning how to grocery shop, learning how to add up what you buy from the store. That was part of it, I think.
It's just called it cooking.
That's all it was called, was cooking?
Yeah, cooking, and the other class was sewing.
And they wouldn't let me.
Why?
Because I'm older than dirt, and back in the day, boys took shop and girls took home ec. But I had a mother who sewed, so I already knew how to do that. And I'm the youngest. I didn't want to be in the kitchen anyway,
I took a
but I
shop
wanted to
class.
be in the shop. I wanted, because my dad, he taught me how to, change spark plugs and a
Yeah, your dad sounds
thermostat
like
and
my dad taught us how to do things on our cars. I
you
took a shop
betcha.
too. When I showed up in the shop class in the eighth grade, the teacher's like, "You do know that this is mostly boys," and I'm like, "What's the point?" He says, "You're not reading it out." I'm like, "No, I've been raised like a boy." He didn't get that, but my dad taught us how to do everything pretty much. How far along did your dad teach you? Because mine taught me how to change spark plugs and wires, and back then it had a solenoid with it.
Yes.
Yeah, how to
That and the alternator.
alternator, and how to change oil, how to empty the radiator, how to
Yep,
change the
yep.
brakes on the car, how to change a tire, how to
And
check.
Dad taught me how to change a tire and then told me, but if there's a male around, you never ever do it. You let them do it.
Let's see, what else did we do? Check for brake fluid, all that stuff. And you were probably like me when you knew a starter was going out because of the way it sounded, because it makes a certain sound, or the starter would make a certain kind of sound.
Absolutely.
You just know, like, uh-oh, we're about, or you be driving down the road and your car just totally goes dead, and you're like, and you realize it's not the battery, but the alternator wasn't charging the battery. I had that happen one time. There's the block. So down here where you see this big seam allowance, this will change when we start sewing things together. And you'll have a point down there. Okay, so we got one done. Let's see what we can do with another one. That purple went good with all of that. You see that?
Yeah,
It
awesome.
went,
I love it.
yeah, it went really good with that. Okay.
What do you call cooking lessons and sewing lessons? That's it.
Yeah. Did you learn on the sewing machine or was it hand sewing?
Hand sewing. No, it's, I think we sew something with the machine too, but I can't remember that. Whatever I've crafted, I think it's already been burned up long ago.
Cynthia says now it's something like consumer something something.
Really? It has a new name?
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is whether you're male or female, nobody is guaranteed to have the opposite sex partner. Maybe you don't even want the opposite sex partner. So everybody needs to know how to sew on a button, needs to know how to change a doorknob and lock, needs to know how to turn on the oven and read a recipe, male or female. You need to know how to do laundry because, yeah. That's just my take on it. And I had 2 boys and 2 girls, and actually way back in the day, my boys were much better cooks than my girls because they would experiment and my girls wouldn't. And so yeah.
I think it's great that you taught them how to do all that. I made sure that all of mine could cook.
I don't like to cook, so I let them cook.
Yeah. I can't wait to get back to Georgia so I can give Thomas some more life skills on cooking. Show him, give him some of my recipes and let him learn them.
I'm not going to.
He was so proud of himself because he did a turkey breast for the first time. It was for Thanksgiving, and I walked him through what to do. He brined it like I walked him through doing that, and how long to cook it, how to take, when to, how long to cook it for, when would it would be done. And when he finally got to eat it and he come back, because I was waiting on him to get back to me and tell me how it went, he's like, "Mom, that was the best turkey I have eaten in a long time." He said that him and Blaze really, really enjoyed it intensely. I'm like, that makes me happy. So he did a good job.
Call me. I've got some good, easy recipes
Okay.
that I'd be happy to share that Blaze would like.
Okay.
So
that sounds good.
I think he already has my number, but just reiterate it to him. So
Okay, I will.
I got married at 17 after I'd graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to. I didn't have a baby for another year and a half. But anyway, got married. And our very first Thanksgiving, I turned 18 in October, and then we had Thanksgiving in November. And so we were going to eat at both of our homes on Thanksgiving Day. But my children's father wanted me to cook. He wanted me to bake a chicken like it was a turkey. So I opened my Betty Crocker cookbook. Remember, I'm the baby. I don't like to cook. So I opened my Betty Crocker cookbook and I'm reading in there and it says, wash the chicken, the turkey, wash it. So I did. And I put it in the oven and it came out and it tasted like soap.
What? You washed it with soap?
It said wash it.
Oh my gosh.
And I
Oh,
rinsed it. I thought I
sweetheart.
rinsed it really, really well. How
Oh,
was I supposed to know? It said wash it. I washed it.
Oh my gosh. You literally
She
took it
didn't get
5 minutes.
sick or anything
Well, of course not.
because we went to his mom and my mom, and ate good and brought leftovers home. So, yeah, the family had a good laugh over that.
I'll bet they did. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the next one, and this is the next one.
It is what it is.
Yeah, well, it's okay. It shouldn't have been a.
We learn
That's
from
how
our
you learn.
mistakes.
Yeah, that's how you learn. Yeah, exactly, honey.
She's got
Exactly.
a beautiful hanging basket delivered from her daughter, probably for Mother's Day. How sweet.
Well, I wish someone would send me stuff for Mother's Day.
Waldo's in North Florida, Robin. In Panama City.
So we're going to use that color. I need to use a different. Let me see here. We need one more color on here. Let's try. Yep, that looks big enough. Okay, so these are the 4 colors I'm going to use next.
Is that pink?
It's it's kind of a pink, and then the hashtags are like a burgundy or a maroon color. So it's going to have
orange.
No, this is not orange back here. That's yellow, orange.
Orange in your hand, in your other hand.
Oh, what I just put back?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some orange in here. There's also, I'm not sure what color you call this. It looks almost like this looks almost like watermelon color, but the cameras don't know what to do with it. Yeah, he doesn't know what to do with the color. But what I'm going to use here is this dark blue here, yellow, turquoise, and then this pink maroon color.
That's cool.
All right, so the first thing we got to do is I need to get the back side of this paper labeled. Y'all have any questions, let me know, and don't forget to do the poll. I know y'all are probably polled out because I posted polls. Oh, she says, I know where are you? Wait. Where are you and Nico? What do you mean, Robin?
Where are you and Nico?
Where's Waldo? Please don't take bad. It's a fun story. She's talking to Amelia. Amelia Bedelia. Please don't take bad. It's a fun story. I don't even know that story. I just heard the slang about. Oh, take off the spotlight. That's why she said that.
Well,
They wanted to see both of us. Well, can they even see you, babe, over there?
yeah, they can see me.
See you, but we only can see Nico's hands.
That's because he's standing up. He stands up a lot when he's doing that. Okay, so what I got to do is we got that square number 1 in the middle. And right now what I'm doing is I'm getting this paper ready so I can get it all labeled properly. I'm doing this backwards. Should be doing it in this direction so I can see what I'm doing. This is going to be a fun block, I think, because we're going to get to use some really small pieces. Let's do the other side, and then I will mark everything, put their numbers on them.
Bess.
Did you see the
Yes,
love
Sylvia,
block?
I have a little problem with being a little bit literal.
Okay.
Nico, Mary G wants to know what you're making, love.
Just I have mixed 2 bags of Legos together, of vehicles.
Yeah, but you did it on accident, right?
Yeah, accidentally. I mixed them together. Now I'm trying to separate them by building up the vehicles again, at the same time replacing those parts that were destroyed.
And for those of you who missed the live last night, I'll show you the love kit again. It's finished. Myra, did you see this? Isn't this adorable? They're Legos. It's a watering can.
Are you kidding me?
No,
That's
these
awesome.
flowers, butterflies. I built this. Nikolai had to help.
Excuse me, you did that one?
I did that one, yeah. He only had to help me with one of the butterfly, the first butterfly I did, because I had it upside down. And after she says, wait, you got to turn this around. And after that, I got all of them put together right. And then together we built the love block yesterday during the live. And I'm telling you, I'm loving this. Isn't that cool? So cool.
Philadelphia?
Huh?
Is that statue in Philadelphia?
I think so. There's actually 2 of them. Another one's in was it Indiana, the book said, babe?
I think so.
Yeah, because there's the book told us about the artist.
To go to Philadelphia. I've never been.
Yeah, it's in it mentions it in the, actually, here's the book. Hold on a second. He has love sculptures installed around the US, Canada, Europe, and Asia. And he's a Zeitgeist, which I don't even know what that means. I have to look it up. But one of the loved ones is in Indiana. Yeah, because it says so right here. No, it's called Indiana's Love. That's what it's called. But one of the states it's actually in, because it was mentioned, I think. He's done a series of love paintings in 1965. And some of them were selected and put in the Museum of Modern Art in New York in 1965. His first love sculpture, let's see, he created his first love sculpture in 1970. The love sculpture, which was acquired in 1976 by Newfields, the Indianapolis Museum of Art now has it. It's remained an integral part of the sculptures because it explores colors and shapes. So the book talks about the artist himself. So it's pretty.
And that came with the kit?
Yep.
Nice.
That information came with it. I love it. Remind me to show you the troll sculptures that me and Nikolai took pictures of when we were in Denmark. What's the guy's name, babe?
Yeah.
Oh God, his name's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, there's several of the trolls in the United States. Actually, we just haven't come across them because we haven't been in the state they're in. But I think one of them is in Indiana or Minnesota. One, I can't remember which. But there's several in Denmark, and we found 4 of them, right, babe?
4 or 5.
5, yeah. But there's several in Copenhagen, and we found 2 of the multiples they have in Copenhagen. And someone posted some recent pictures of some that they found in Copenhagen. And when I asked where they were at, they told me where it's at. So when we go to Copenhagen again, we are going to go on a troll hunt. So I can take some more pictures. They are huge, Myra, and they're all made from pallets. The guy recycles the pallets and turns them into these big, huge sculptures.
Like wood pallets.
Yeah, shipping pallets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he built them from.
Recycled them.
So
instead of cutting them, he turns them into sculptures. And I love that people can take something like that and reuse it instead of just throwing it in the, burn pile. Okay, so what we got to do here is I'm going to go ahead and line up this first block, which will be the square here. And then I have number 2. We're going to do that first strip. Denise said, Family and Consumer Sciences, FCS. See through the paper here. Okay. So a little dab of glue so it doesn't move. You know what? I'm going to make this one a fussy cut because there is this design right smack dab in the middle of this piece of fabric that'll look great. Y'all will see when I show it to you. Okay.
That they call it a fussy cut.
Yeah, fussy cut, because see the design in the center?
Yeah, I totally get it.
Usually I don't bother, but this will look cool that way. I think it, yep. I need to put a little more glue, looks like. I'm so scared I'm going to mess up fabric using this glue. But a lot of quilters use the glue and don't have any trouble, So I'm testing it out to see whether I think it's all it's cracked up to be or not. So how's everybody's weather? Is it hot where you're at, Myra?
It just got through raining. It turned a little chilly. It is actually 69 degrees in Panama City.
Oh, that's a nice weather. That's my kind of weather. I loved when Florida would be in the 60s. Actually, I liked it when it was in the 50s. Always felt like spring when it was in the 50s. Our weather is really, really confused right now, unfortunately. It's cold again out. Let's see what the temperature is today. 30 degrees right now. After having 2 or 3 weeks of 45-degree weather, now it's 30 degrees. This happened we got that big, huge nor'easter, which is called a bitter rock. And my goodness, it made it cold. I told Nicola, I'm like, why is it so cold? Uh-oh. Oh, I'm okay. I thought I did something wrong. Okay, now, the next one that's going to go on here is going to be the yellow. Mellow yellow. Put it face down on here. I know you can't see what I'm doing, Myra, sorry. Denise says, that's the name for home economics. Sorry, I didn't complete the thought. Hand slowing with arthritis, typing with one hand. Oh, I hope it gets to feeling better. One time Cynthia says, one time the principal asked me to sub in that class. I looked at him like he was crazy. I don't like to cook And at the time, I didn't care to sew, and I told him, no, thank you. I've had my fair share of interesting subclasses when I was substitute teaching. Before I moved here, I had an ag class, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these guys? Because she didn't leave any plans, which teachers are supposed to leave plans. My favorite was getting a science class, a high school science class, and a high school math class. I really enjoyed the heck out of those. Shirley says, oh, she's warmer than us. Look at her. Shirley in Alaska is 52 degrees, honey.
Okay. Look at the, what you call polar vortex that just moved up toward us.
Well, that polar vortex is supposed to be going over the United States at some point. I don't know how it's going to affect us, but I have a feeling we're going to probably have a cooler summer if that's the case. Myra, what have you been working on? I can't hear you.
Hey. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay. I finished the last of all my circles, and I just have to start putting them together finally. But I've been, you know, trying to work on Gavin's little quilt. So
That's outstanding.
mhm.
How's them grandbabies doing?
Great. It's supposed to rain tomorrow and Sunday, so I think I'm going to do some hand sewing out in the Florida room because it's bright in there. So
I get a message from Lynette, and she tells me, she says, are you busy at 4 o'clock? I'm like, no, I can move my live to later. That's why I got moved to 8 o'clock, because little one wanted to talk to me. And so I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. No granddaughter. And then when I finally got a message from Lynette saying that they were going to call, I only got to talk to her for 15 minutes because I was going live. And you talk about an upset baby. Oh my God, you would have thought I had committed the cardinal crime when I told her I had to go to work. She's like, I don't want you to leave. I want to talk to you. And I'm like, oh,
sweet.
I told her I'd call her tomorrow, so I'm hoping I'll get to spend some time talking to her tomorrow. I hope so. She's growing up so fast, Myra. She turns 5 on June the 9th. And she's just something else. She reminds me of her mama a whole lot.
My Gavin turns 5 on the 26th of May, and he refused to hug me today.
Uh-oh.
And he refused to hug his 91-year-old great-grandmother. Now, his parents make him hug my mom, but I tell him, don't make him hug me. I don't want his hug if he doesn't want to hug me. But he's been very defiant lately, and so he got in trouble for not obeying them and hugging me too, and I felt really bad. But his mama and his daddy both reiterated that he's been given choices, and he's been choosing very poorly, and it's time to start enacting consequences, which I think they should have been doing a little bit more earlier.
Yeah.
But consequences by, you know, no tablet time, you know, not physical consequences, y'all, but stuff that affect him greatly as an only child.
Yep. Just like with the plays, you know, you don't do what I, when Thomas calls me and says, Mom, you've got to talk to my son. And I'm like, okay, what'd he do now? He won't clean his room.
Yep.
And then I get him on the phone and I'm like, Blaze, did your daddy already take your switch away? Yes, ma'am. So he's, oh, yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am, because he knows I'm going to give him an earful, or he thinks I'm going to. I said, do you want your switch back? Yes, ma'am. So explain to me why you won't clean your room. And the answer was, I don't know. And I said, do you So you're saying you don't know, but you're telling me you want your switch back. Do you really want your switch back? Yes, ma'am. I said, so what do you got to do to get your switch back? Go clean my room. And then I said, listen, your daddy could get really upset with you and go in there and put all your stuff in a garbage bag and throw it away. You should have seen his eyeballs when I said that. He went, phew. I said, so have I made my point? Yes, ma'am. I said, call me back when you got your room clean. A couple hours later, his room was clean. And no one had to lay a hand on it.
Sunny California. It's 99 in sunny Southern California, and it's 81 where Cynthia is.
Here we are so
there
far.
was ice on the windshield this morning in Alaska. Oh, that's beautiful.
So far, this is where we are. So now I'm going to add the turquoise next, which is this color turquoise, which looks strange on the camera. You know what she wants, right?
Yeah.
It's that time of the night. I still have some chicken left in there, right? Or did we give her the rest of it?
We still have some.
Okay, so can you give her 2 chicken legs and an egg?
Seriously?
She'll be quiet if you do.
Seriously?
Otherwise, I have to get up and do it.
Seriously?
Say, yes, I'm going to be hangry if you don't.
Seriously, you don't do it.
That dog is a hilarious dog. She has such personality. Wait a minute. Where was I planning on? Ew. Okay, never mind. I thought I did something wrong, but I didn't. All right, so now what I've got to do is sew this on both sides. And I'm just going to line it up, pin it, and sew it.
100 degrees in Gilbert, Arizona, where
Probably
Laura's at. And Laura's got all the toys. She's got a monogrammer. She's got a long arm. Got a sewing machine.
Jealous about all these people who have all these fancy machines, and I don't.
You will.
No, I should not act like that because it's okay. That's and I don't want that to be took as a negative comment. That's not how I meant it. But I'll be honest. I am a little jealous, but not in a negative way. Let's put that out there. I want to make sure I clarified that. Not in a negative way, because everybody deserves to have what they want. I'm going to trim one side of this off real quick. Not on the line. I just want to get some of this bulk out of my way because it's kind of bugging me. Because we have
Shirley to be careful because machine embroidery is addictive. And Shirley tells Laura she had a friend that used to live in Gilbert. Such a small world we live in, y'all.
I know. Since we now have social media, the world is definitely smaller.
Traveling it?
Not so small.
Not so small.
Especially with here.
Traveling it is different.
Y'all probably can tell that Katie's in a better mood today. Guess who got some good sleep 2 days ago?
For you.
No dreams or bad dreams, nothing. He told me that I put a movie on. I was asleep just a few minutes later. I never heard him come to bed. He took the remote and switched the what was on the TV to rain. I never heard any of it. I didn't even move, he said. And I slept until, what was it, 9 o'clock? Something like that. Yeah. And then 10. I couldn't go back. 9 or 10 o'clock, yeah. I just totally passed out. Because when he's home, I feel safe. Well, and I've been upset about a whole lot of things, and that's part of the problem. And getting out and seeing icebergs the other day, that really, really, really made me a happy camper because it lifted my spirits. And we were out there a long time, weren't we, babe?
Yep.
I mean, we were out there long enough that all that walking, we walked 4.5, it was 4.5, right?
Hmm.
We walked 4.5 kilometers.
I think 4.1.
Yeah, somewhere around that. Yeah. And so
Dumb
by the
it
time,
down. What's that in miles?
you're gonna have to Google it, sissy.
I think it's around two
What-
and a half miles. Probably.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm guessing.
Because we took a cab ride down there to save on my energy, so that when we did start climbing, I would have energy for that. Because I'm totally out of shape right now. So by the time I got home, I was tired and sore. And you know who
So
else?
you
was
guys
sore?
have no vehicle?
No. It's cheaper for me to use a taxi. It's definitely
Oh.
cheaper for us to use a taxi. Because between the cost of buying a car, shipping the car, then there's the tax on buying the car, a tax on the engine itself, and another tax that has to do with road tax or something. By the time it's over with, if you buy $100,000 car, you end up paying $200,000 for it. And when I did the math on how often I use a taxi versus having car payments that are astronomically high, 100 kroners, I don't know, 300 or 400 kroners a month on a taxi ride is way cheaper than having a really skyrocketing car payment. We are going to buy a UTV, right, babe?
ATV
Or yeah, the one that has the roof on it. We are going to buy one of those at some point. We have that in our to-do list because we can buy one from Sissy Moo, and the one we want is a 4-seater with like a, what do you call the back end of a truck? Tail.
You can buy it here too.
It's like a truck, but it's a UTV. It has the back end where you can load things in the back, but it's also a 4-seater. It has a back where you can put stuff in it, and 4-seater, and you have a windshield and a roof and little doors that go on it to keep the weather out. But you can drive it wherever you want, and there's not all this astronomically high price stuff in order to have it. Can we buy it from here now?
Yeah.
Since when?
No place.
Is it the same price as what Sissy Moo was asking for?
I haven't asked yet, but I can ask whoever runs it.
Oh. Well, anyway, we're starting to see more and more of the 4-wheelers around here. We want the one with the roof over it because we can take it and go camping and load it down with a tent and everything else and go out in the middle of nowhere with it. And if the weather turns south, we can easily get home without any trouble, It's way cheaper than having a really skyrocketing car payment.
Katie, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
So, Sherry says your package is in Denmark.
She sent me a care package. Yay! So maybe next week.
It depends on air delays coming.
Yeah, it depends on the weather, along with all the delays that's been going on with Air Greenland. I tell you what, they made a big mistake building that airport in Nuuk. They should have just renovated Kangerlussuaq's airport and left it there, because they're having nothing but trouble trying to get birds in the air from Nuuk. It's just, huh?
A truck.
You're breaking up, sweetie.
The truck. I'll type it in.
Okay. Maybe Nicola, can you find a picture of that little UTV, or is it possible?
What?
Can you find a picture of that UTV? Possibly. Yeah, the bed, truck bed. That's what I was trying to come up with. Thank you, Myra.
My screen, you can't hear me. Can
Now
you
I
hear
hear
me when
you.
I'm green?
I
Okay.
heard you.
Robin
Yeah.
put it in there before I did, but I was trying to tell you what it was.
Bed of the truck. Yeah, it has one of those on the back side of it. So it's small, but it's doable for two of us and a dog. I can put the dog in the back. I can go grocery shopping and put all the groceries in the back seat. You know, I don't need no extravagant big truck. There's someone here in town that actually has a Ford F-250. And I'm like, why? But he uses it for work. I think he's a contractor.
There you go.
But I just find it shocking to see such a big truck here. For a while,
The taxis.
The taxis are most of them are mini
It's like SUV.
what do you call it? A mini SUV?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're small little SUVs. They're very tiny. I mean, they can seat four or five people, and then you could put stuff in the back. So they're not overly big. I mean, when we rented a car in Denmark, we drove a little SUV, mini SUV, and man, that little car, I loved it because it was fun to drive, and it didn't use up a ton of gas when I was driving it either. Okay, so here I am. Here's where I am so far. Now we got the turquoise on. All right, let's get this. Now I'm going to add this on here. I just need to make sure this is going to be big enough before I go sewing it on here and discover it's not. Yep, it's going to be big enough. And I really need to press that better. Okay, so let's get this one side sewn on first.
Says the package has been in Denmark since May the 5th.
And today's the 9th, isn't it?
Yep.
That means it's been bad weather, huh, honey?
Could be that,
Or stuck in Nuke 1.
could be that they have tried to fly it, but cannot go in time.
Yeah, I kind of got sidetracked about what I was saying about Nuke. For the last how long now, babe? 2 months, 3 months? Every time they try to fly out of Nuke, it's been one thing after another. They can't keep the ice off the runway. They can't do this. They can't do that. Like Nikolai got stuck in Narsarsuaq. It was 45 degrees here, but the helicopter wouldn't fly because of ice. And ice on the helicopter. And I'm like, well, how? It was too warm outside, but yeah. So there's a lot going on here when it comes to flying lately. And I don't know what they're going to do about it, but I don't honestly see how Air Greenland can afford to keep doing this, because when they ground their flights, they have to house all of the passengers in hotels.
Don't live in there.
That don't live there. Well, no, of course not, babe.
Those that don't live at where they're grounded, you have to live in the hotel.
Yeah. Well, if they live there, they're not going to fly anywhere else.
Nope.
But anyway, yeah, they get grounded. And so one time I was grounded in Narsarsuaq for 6 days. That is not an exaggeration. And those whole 6 days, I didn't have to pay for the hotel or the food. Air Greenland did.
But you lost your flight from Denmark.
But I lost my flight from Denmark to the United States. And there was a woman, I think I've told this story once or maybe once. So when I was there, you remember Myra, because you were going to pick me up at the airport because we were going to Lynette's reception. You remember me getting stuck and not being when I was supposed to arrive? So you know this story. So the rest of you probably don't. So here's what happened. The fog is what was preventing us from flying. And it was there for 6 days. And I had called Lynette to tell her what was going on, and Myra. But I was on the phone with Lynette at the time, and there was a woman. She was sitting a little distance from me, but she overheard my conversation with Lynette. So she knew what I was going to Florida for. I was going to Lynette's wedding reception. And I was upset because I lost my ticket from Denmark to the United States because we were stuck. And I learned a lot out of that, actually. Now I have contingencies when that happens. But anyway, to make a she heard the conversation, but she didn't say anything to me at the time. And when I went back to my room, and I was just about to walk through the door, and she showed up behind me. And she says, can I talk to you for a few minutes?" And I was like, what's she want? I didn't know who she was, but she had good English. She sounded like an American. And I said, okay. So I let her in the room, and she says, "I know this is going to seem rude, especially since I know you're an American too, that me eavesdropping your conversation and I'm listening." She says, "But I couldn't help but hear what was going on." And she says, "I want to help you rectify the problem." And I'm like, okay. She says, "I have a travel agency, and she handles all of my travel, and I want to pay," not me, the lady talking to me says, "I want to pay for your flight from Denmark to the United States, to Florida, on me." And I'm like, "Well, I can always pay you back." She says, "No, I don't want your money. I'm doing this because you're with your daughter." So by the end of the day, that day, a new flight had been set up, and it was set up for the 6th day, because I think we were supposed to go on, I don't remember what day of the week we were going to Lake City, but I got there that day, and then we drove up, or did we spend the night and then go up? I think we drove up that day, didn't we?
Yes. We
Yeah,
went straight there because we were hoofing it. I remember.
yeah.
We went straight there.
So Myra picked me up from Orlando International, because that's where she sent me, because my original flight was in Jacksonville, and I got a hold of Myra and said, I need help. And Myra lived in Orlando at the time, so it worked out to, real good because of that. Uh-oh. Please tell me that we're all right. So I never saw the lady again. She wanted me to email her to let her know that I got to the United States okay, and then after that, I never heard from her again. But she had been spending several weeks in Greenland. She was going all over Greenland, and that was the kindest thing that someone had ever done for to get me where I needed to go. I had to move.
That was really special.
Yep. Not every day you have someone who'll do something like that, because it was not cheap buying a ticket for the next day to fly. It's expensive, because I always get tickets months in advance to fly.
Negating how wonderful it was.
Huh?
I'm not negating how wonderful it was, but with her having a travel agency, sometimes they accumulate points or whatever, and so they can do things and have ways to do things, that doesn't cost what it would cost us. I'm not negating the kindness, because it was awesome, but she might not have paid what we think she paid. Although, if she gave up a flight, even if she didn't pay anything for it, she gave up the points and the opportunity to use it herself later on. So it still was a very momentous, wonderful gesture.
It sure was, and it got me down there. You remember when Blaze was so little back then?
Yeah.
Laura, I'll check into it. It may, if you posted it and it doesn't look like it went straight to the group, it's probably the bot's probably holding on to it for me to okay it. So I'll check on it here directly. Okay, I'm about to put this other part on here, and we'll have another block done. See, I'm gonna put this on, and then you'll get this. I'll trim it down, and you'll get to see the finished block. Make sure I don't miss a lining. Uh-oh, what happened?
No.
Sounded like something hit the floor.
My fault.
Okay, now we got that part done. I'm gonna take it over to the iron and press it real good before I trim it down. That way you'll see it. Oh, this one's gonna be pretty too. Oh my gosh. I think y'all are gonna love this one too. When do you get relief, Myra?
Do you mean when is my sister coming? Her grandson is getting married the 23rd or 24th of May, and then they're gonna leave and come over this way. So the 27th or 28th.
Okay. What you gonna do when you get home? You got some things planned to do while you're off?
Yeah, to get my craft room in my old office and get it out of the dining room. But I'm only going to have about 10 days because my husband is taking 2 weeks off to come to his mother and his brother's area of Alabama down by the Gulf Coast, down by Mobile. And now that we don't have Dempsey anymore, I'm going to go with him. And so I'll be over there for 2 weeks with him while his brother has surgery on his eyes because he's having diabetic issues with his eyes, and they're going to do some surgery, and he will be sightless for at least a week. And so, yeah. So we're going to go and do whatever it is his brother does for his mother, who is also 91, and oh, that's so beautiful. I love the little hashtag fabric.
Yeah, I love that hashtag. I wish I'd have bought more of it. I bought like 1.5 yards of it, and it's slowly dwindling down because I've been using it here and there on different things. Because it's I should have bought like 5 yards of it because it's fun fabric.
There is Disney in my future.
Donna Tobeck's wanting to know what you're building, honey.
For the moment, I'm building I think it's called garbage truck.
Let me go check and make sure that
Important.
Photos that Laura posted made it went through, because sometimes that bot's persnickety. Well, the other day when it was being persnickety, it had to be. Someone was trying to post t-shirt photos again. Lynette just wrote to me. She says, it's all good, I promise. She said that Ava didn't cry. She's building Legos currently. She was just being dramatic. That's what happens when you're an only child. All right, let me go look at the group real quick. Make sure that bot lets up, not pinned in post. Here we go. Now I can okay it. Yep. Yeah. Lynette, you want to hear a funny thing? Lynette texted me, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. She says, Mom, I want to ask you a question. I'm like, okay. She says, was I dramatic when I was a little girl? And I'm like, define dramatic. And she gave me a roundabout answer. I said, the only time you were ever dramatic like what you're talking about is, first of all, when Thomas was born, you did not want to come home at all. You wanted to stay at Grandma and Grandpa's because you were totally jealous of Thomas. I mean, she was so jealous, she would try to stick her fingers in his eyeballs. That was just the way she was at the time. And I thought I had her all ready to go on us having another baby, but nope. When she saw him in my arms, she was totally not doing it. And the other thing was, is she liked to go to the neighbor's house. The neighbor was childless, and she was a Jehovah's Witness, and her husband was a fisherman. But she loved that woman. And I have pictures of her taking pictures of Lynette being dramatic. because Lynette was doing one of her being dramatic things, and I'm like, you didn't do it very often, but when you did, you put on quite a show. You never, but she never did it in public though. She was never. None of them, in fact, put on a show in public or in a store or anywhere else because they knew if they did, they would be in deep doo-doo. All right, now we've got 2 blocks made. What time is it, babe?
No clue.
Oh, it's almost 5 minutes till 10, so we've been going 2 hours, almost 2 hours, yeah.
2 hours.
So let me fill you in on a couple of things so that you hear it. Tomorrow, let's see, what have I got planned for tomorrow? Tomorrow's live, we're going to do, I haven't heard from Jess. Tomorrow was supposed to be Magnolia night. And I haven't heard from her, so I don't know if I should just go ahead and work on the Magnolia on my own so y'all can see me finish it, or if I should just do something else and see if I can't track her down on getting her to, because we were doing it as a collaboration. Y'all give me some feedback over on the in the Greenland Quilter group. When I post the live for tomorrow night, do y'all want me to go ahead and continue on with the Magnolia? And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you. This is the Magnolia that I've been working on. I'm thinking about taking this part of the way apart, taking it apart in the center, right here where the yellow is, and turning it into a smaller quilt top. Make a mini wall hanging because it's really pretty. And I think I could get away with doing that. But I haven't made a final decision on it. If I continue on with it, I need to do at least 4 more rows before it's ready. And it'll be like a mini lap quilt. But the blue is batik, but the red and the yellow here that you see, the yellow is Juicy Juice. And the red, I think, is a Lori Holt fabric, if I remember right. But anyway, this was what we were supposed to be working on Saturday, but I haven't heard from her. I've tried, no answer. So would y'all like me to go ahead and continue on with this? Or do you think I should just put it aside and we do something else? Let me know in the chat what you think. Give me your opinion, because we can continue on with this on Saturday without her if I have to. It's not a problem. Sunday is Sean and my Star Climber. That will be at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that'll be Sunday. I think I'm not sure whose turn it is. It's either his turn or my turn. I think it's my turn. Next week, the regular lives are going to happen, but the following week is when we're going to do something. I had to move the Tuesday night crochet live to the 27th of May. So it'll be Andy from Crafty Witch, Shonda from the Under the Needle, and Amanda from, what's the name of her channel again? Scraptastic Crocheter. We'll be crocheting together. If there's any of you other crocheters that want to hop on this Zoom with us, you're welcome to do it. But you got to email me if you want to do it. Myra, I don't know if you want to get up that early or not if you want to crochet.
7 in the morning Central Time?
That would, oh my God, that would be 7 your time then.
No, 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 no. Love you. Oh,
It's the only time that Sean can do a live with me while I'll explain what the deal is. Sean has a job, like so many do, but him and his wife opened their house for international students. So he's got two girls right now. One's from one's from Denmark. I think the other one's from the Czech Republic. And they have just a few more days left of school. I think they leave I think they have to go back home the first week in June is what I think, because the United States is forcing them home sooner. And so that's why he tries to cram in as much as he can with these two girls, or every year when he has these kids, because he has them from the fall semester all the way through to the end of spring semester. And he takes them all over Virginia. He takes them to New York. He just gets out there and shares the culture. And the thing about Sean is Australian, but he thinks enough to make sure these girls get some American history, and he takes them to see the White House. I mean, I've never seen the White House. But I can tell you, if I had to choose between the White House, the Botanical Gardens, and the Smithsonian, I would do the Botanical Gardens and the Smithsonian over the White House.
Why am I not surprised?
You hear what he said? I would do those.
ditto.
Yeah, I would do those two, because I don't care about the White House. I care about other things. And yeah, I mean, it would be cool to see that. I think it would be cool to see the Lincoln Memorial. I think that would be neat. But I think I would prefer doing the art stuff and the plant stuff and all that kind of stuff. That's what I want to see. I'm really, the older I get, the more I want to see it while I have a chance. I want to enrich myself. All right. What else do I need to tell y'all about? Next, babe, what night you want to do that? Since we don't have anything written down for Thursday, Friday, or Saturday for what we're planning on doing, which night you want to do this you sew thing?
Let's just do this
Thursday?
so we can get rid of it.
What if you decide you want to do it more than one time? You got to finish it. Okay, so
make it 12 years of doing it. One row per year.
one row per year. Oh, you were hilarious. Okay, so next a week from Thursday, or less than a week from now, Nikolai's gonna sew. I just got to get that Singer sewing machine and make sure everything's okay with it. He's gonna do a jelly roll, and then we're gonna subcut. And you guys come up with some quilty questions, because we're going to set everything up where you can ask him quilty questions while he's sewing. And we'll see how much he knows. I think he knows more than y'all think he does. Translating it from his brain to English will be harder, I think. Don't you think so, babe?
Probably.
Because when I ask what a half square triangle is, he says it's half of a triangle. Which is true. It is. A half square triangle block is made with two half triangles. So I'll have to help with giving y'all the answer he's giving, so that you don't get a halfway answer that you don't like. What did he just say? All right. Robin says, I've been all over DC. The White House is amazing. It's been rebuilt once. It's gorgeous inside and out. And Laura says, DC is beautiful and fascinating destination. Yeah, see,
the White House has been burned once or twice.
Yes, we know. Someone just mentioned that. It's been rebuilt once. Yep, he knows his history. That's what's funny about him. He knows his stuff. But, I think that when I went to New York City, I was mostly fascinated with all the older architecture inside of Manhattan. I couldn't believe how many of those skyscrapers had marble on the side with carvings. And then I don't know which church it was, but they had chicken wire over the sculptures, I think, to keep the birds off of them. that church was, it was so beautiful, and I could kick myself for not going inside of it and at least seeing the inside of it. Which one you been to, Robin? Because the one in Miami is definitely going to happen. I'm going to do that one. She said, I've been to several botanical gardens in Florida. Smithsonian museums are good. Yeah, that's what I want to go see, the Smithsonian. I think the museums will be lots of fun, and the botanical gardens up there. Definitely. That will happen. When I went to Indiana, I walked all over. We were in Fort Wayne, Indiana for my only time IRC party I went to. And I spent more time outside than I did inside taking pictures of trees and flowers and plants, because the trees and everything there were different than what's in Florida. And I actually recognized 4 different big hardwood trees, because North Florida has what they call an ironwood. Another one was a certain kind of oak tree up there. They're very old, what they call old natural oaks and these hardwoods that have been around for thousands of years. And when you go to Fort Wayne, Indiana, they're everywhere. It was so cool. Miami, as I was working for UM.
Do you know what a Asian lily is?
Yes, it's tall and skinny with long linear leaves, and it only flowers for a short amount of time.
Yes, and my mother has about 12 blooms on 4 branches outside her front door right at this moment, and it is so beautiful, and they're about this big. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful.
University of Miami. I didn't know University of Miami had a botanical gardens. That's interesting. The one I want to go to, let me go. I don't know why I can never remember. I don't know why I have such a hard time remembering the name of this botanical gardens. I can tell you about Callaway. No, it starts with an S. Hang on a minute. No, it's not that either.
I'm just saying, I mean, just trying to say, mention the name. So
I don't know why I have such trouble remembering it.
Maybe if I could trigger your, oh, it's this. You know?
It drives me crazy that I can never remember the name of it.
Smithsonian.
Let's see, where is it? Miami. It doesn't start with an M. It's called Fairchild Gardens. That's the name of it. Fairchild, that's the name. But Miami does have more than one botanical gardens, actually, that are not too far apart from each other. But Fairchild Gardens is located in, I think, the north end of Miami, I believe. Let me see if I can. Should tell me where it's at. But it's Fairchild Gardens has this big, huge greenhouse, and it has this carrion plant inside of it. It's one of the few plants that usually they don't flower in captivity, but this one has flowered more than once. And I would have loved to have seen it when it flowered. Now, I don't know how many often it does it, not very often from what I've seen. It's on Old Cutler Road in Miami. And the other one is located, the other one I think is called, actually, let's see, what's the other one called again? The other one is called the Miami Beach Botanical Gardens. So there's 2 of them. 2 main ones anyway. There's a couple of Japanese ones too that I saw. University of Miami doesn't. Oh, the garden is not too far from work. Gotcha. Okay. Now, where Myra lives, I've never been to the one in Tampa. The one that has all of the dadgum roller coasters.
Gardens.
Yeah, Busch Gardens. I've never been there either, and I'm pretty sure that their gardens is beautiful too. And it's weird I've never been there, but I haven't. And it may be because I don't do roller coasters anymore. Last time I did a roller coaster was with Nikolai, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I guess the PTSD is a problem for roller coasters.
We go, but we don't ride roller coasters either. We go to look at the animals and the plants and watch the kids, not to be creepy, but and
Yeah,
and the shows. They have really good shows. We saw Merle Haggard in one of his very last
uh-huh.
performances. And we've seen a lot of good performers, I thought. But anyway, yeah.
Hey, do you know where the Legoland is at down there? Is it in Orlando or is it somewhere in between you and Orlando?
It's just outside of Orlando.
Because I think we should go do that with Nikolai for sure. Don't they have a hotel to stay at there as well? Because that might be fun just staying right. I know it'll be pricey, but it might be worth one of those once in a lifetime kind of deals. I have something to tell you guys. Some of you already know about it. Becca and Ian and Tiffany are going to do a cruise, Alaskan cruise, and they're going to do sewing with the cruise. Boy, would I would love to go and do that with them, but I just don't. I don't know. I have never been on a cruise ship, and I looked at the price of what the tickets are going to be for that cruise, and it's close to. Well, it depends on what room you're in, and I would not share a room with anyone I didn't know. So, because of my asthma, especially if someone is a smoker, I couldn't do it. And but the most expensive room is $3,000. That's a lot of money for a cruise, for a 7-day cruise.
Expensive for a 7-day. That's not expensive for a 7-day cruise.
3,000 US dollars is not expensive. Wow. The room looks great though. I mean, it was one with a balcony on it, and I would enjoy the hell out of it because I'd see the ice cap and everything through the windows. But I don't know. It's not going to happen until 2020, 2027, right?
26.
Is it next year?
Is it 18
Oh, it is next year because I would have to sacrifice something else. Either way, I still have to go to the United States. And the fact that I think they're doing it in the fall, I think. I don't remember which month they're doing it. I think August. Shirley says that doesn't include fabric package or excursions. Yeah, there's still the price of participating in the sewing part of it. And I have not seen how much that's even going to cost. So I don't know. I think I'm probably going to bypass it. I think it might be cheaper for me just to set up a cruise for me and Nikolai and go do it on our own. Have you ever done a cruise to Alaska, Myra? I know you lived in Alaska, but I didn't know if you've ever been on a cruise.
To Alaska. I've never been on a cruise to Alaska, and that's probably not something I would choose to do because I would want to walk down memory lane, and I'd want to go to Seward and Homer Spit, and I'd want to go to Eagle River, and I'd want to go to Mount Alyeska, and I'd want to go, there are a lot of places that I'd want to go that wouldn't be possible on a cruise. So
yeah. That would be like doing a cruise to Greenland and not having time to go dip your feet.
Yeah, so, I think that I'm hoping I can convince Bill to take our motorhome up, in the future, possibly with my sister and her husband, because she graduated high school up there and hasn't been back. None of us have been back since 1972. Shoot fire, when we were there, Eagle River had one store.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was even a light there, I don't think. And yeah.
How far away from where Shirley lives did you live?
Shirley, how far away is Eagle River from the military base in Anchorage? or Muldoon in Anchorage? I don't know. We just got in Daddy's truck on a Friday night and drove forever, and then we were at the campground, or we were camping. I don't even know if it was a campground, but anyway.
While we're talking, I'll start showing you all the blocks so far I've done on the scraps block, so everybody can.
Sylvia's worked on a cruise ship.
Yeah. I'm just going to show you the blocks that I've done so far over the last few weeks. So we got this one. And this one.
Shirley says it's only 10 miles. It just seemed like longer in the truck, but then there were 4 of us crammed in the front of the truck. So those are beautiful, sis.
Yeah, this is going to be fun when we get it all, enough of them to build a quilt out of. See all them stripes? Those are thin stripes, several colors. That's where we are so far. So I have, let's see how many I've actually done. 1, 2. See, because this is going to be ongoing, just like the 1,000 block book. You know, the 1,000 block book is becoming a big hit for a Friday night every other week, Myra. People are enjoying it, and I'm so happy with how it's going.
It's awesome.
So 9's been done so far out of that set of 50 pieces. So it's going to be fun putting it together and building a really cool quilt with it. Anyone want to ask any questions? How many quilts are you working on? Robin asked. Okay, let's see. I am working on, I'm going to have to write this so I don't leave anything out. Hold on a minute. I'll write it as I tell you. I'm working on Star Climber.
Sylvia, this was the old Glen Highway. It was 2 lanes. It was, I mean, think about it. I'm 66, and that I was 10, 11, I was 10 to 14 when I was there. So we're talking 50 years, you know, I mean, yeah.
Okay,
Some of the people on this chat weren't even born. I'm just saying.
Okay, so right now I'm working on Star Climber, Phoenix from the PMQ Flyway, Magnolia, the GQ Quilt Along with no name. We don't have a name for it yet. The 1,000 blocks that we're doing every other week. I feel like
I lost count.
Pink,
I hope somebody's counting.
The Dragon Fruit Tulip Pink quilt. It's the monthly sew along through Fat Quarter Shop. Let me see here. What am I leaving? I know I'm leaving something out. I do have some UFOs that I'm planning on working on.
And you haven't started on mine too.
Yeah, there's the Florida one I still got to work on. I haven't even started. But somebody's like, when are you going to make my quilt? Oh, then I haven't finished quilting the hand quilting project. I'm not finished with that yet, but I'm making progress with it. Speaking of that, here, let me show you where I am on that. I hope you're going to see loose threads because I haven't figured out how to fasten off. So just ignore that. I need to move this camera so y'all can see what I'm talking. Can y'all see the quilting?
It's beautiful. You're doing a great job.
So I've got all the dark, the navy blue portions hand quilted. So now I just got to figure out how I'm going to do the yellow and purple sections. I haven't decided yet. So I have a total of what's not a UFO, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now that's not going to, that doesn't include, I'm going to be doing Christmas in July. I think I'm going to, besides what I plan on doing for Christmas in July, which will be Advent boxes. Nikolai's doing Advent boxes also that I'll be, all of those will be pre-recorded though. They won't be lives. But I think Sean is going to host some kind of sew along for Christmas in July. So I'm going to participate in that. So yeah, you know, I'm a little concerned that it seems like I have a lot going on. Actually, I just have too many UFOs right now, and and we got to deal with the craft room, and I want to get out there and at least get one huge long bed put in, a raised bed put in outside so I can grow vegetables because I'm sick to death of not having fresh vegetables. So I'm going to do something about it. But amongst all of these little projects that I have, that I'm doing and plan to do, my job's going to start soon. And from what I understand, we have close to 100 cruise ships going to come through here. And I'm like, because I don't know how much of that's going to pile up on top of me. I do know I need to have a sit down because I think it's time for me to say, hey, let's don't do more than this many chores with me in one day. I just, because the last year and the year before, when I get to like number 5 in the tannery, I'm not getting enough of a time to take a break, and I'm getting hot. I think that's what's causing my issues. I'm not drinking enough. Number 2, I get overheated inside the tannery, which makes me want to go throw up. And I actually had a bout of where I had to ask for help while they take care of my chores while I go throw up. You know, and that's not good. So, and I think it's just because I get hot. And I can't strip all my clothes off because, you know, that would scare everyone away. You know, but the other thing that I'm working, let's see, Tulip ink. Yeah, okay, we're doing good. Okay, so I don't think that's too terribly bad. I would like to finish at least 2 PMQs this year, and I'm going to work really hard to do that. Like I need to, I've been waiting on the rest of my Wild West pieces. I got aggravated because I'm missing clues. And so I stuck it in a box and put it aside. I'm like, screw it. I'm not doing it. And that's okay. I'm not mad at Cotton Cuts. It's not their fault. It's this mailing crap just driving me insane. So I got aggravated, put it on in a box, and it's set aside. But as soon as all the pieces I need arrived, because she checked on me yesterday and said, have you gotten blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, nope. She's like, okay. So once that does, I probably will go ahead and finish the Wild West by the end of the year. I'll at least do that. And I think I'm going to pull out one more PMQ and try to finish. I want to finish the one that I was making for my sister. That's the other one that's not on this list. The Hope one. The Hope PMQ. That one I've been working on this. I'm going to give to my sister who is a breast cancer survivor. And by the way, Sissy, I have more of that same pink fabric in a stitch it kit, which would make a big enough. Yeah, because you're a breast cancer survivor too. See, I know.
I sure am.
My 2 sissies. Yep, Myra and my sister Karen, who lives in Spain. She's a breast cancer survivor. I forgot to tell you. I got to, she finally messaged me, I don't know, about a month ago. Because I wrote and I said, I wrote to her and I said, I get that you have been in crisis. I get that. You know, all of us girls have a lot of baggage on us, and her surgery triggered hers. And I said, but you cannot ignore me forever. I need to know you're okay. Please at least say hi, I love you, and I miss you, or something. Tell me you're okay. So she writes back and she says, you know, you're right. I should stay in communication with you because we've been working so hard. Y'all don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand this, but me and my sisters, and I guess you can include Mike, but Mike's life was different than ours. We grew up broken. That's the best way to describe it. We were taught to do a certain thing a certain way, so we never had what you call sisterly closeness. And me and Karen have been working really hard to gain a relationship that we have never actually had. You know, she was the youngest, I was the oldest. And when the crap rolled down the hill, it rolled on top of me. And in the long run, Karen probably got ignored more than she got what rolled down the hill. And so when I left home, and we talked about this, she mentioned this. She said, when you left home, I thought that I was going to die. She said this about herself because there was no one there to take up the slack because she was too young to leave home. And so, and I told her, I said, you know, we've been working really hard to try to start talking to each other and build a relationship that we have never had. And I can't have you staying silent. I get that you're dealing with all your issues, but don't leave me out in the cold because it hurts my feelings. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It makes me feel maybe left out. Maybe that's it. Because I want to know she's okay. I don't want her to go and hurt herself, you know, or do something. And so she wrote back and she told me what was going on, and she told me she was doing better. But this is the thing I'm getting to. She told me that the whoever the powers that be was handling her breast cancer stuff, they have asked her to head up a breast cancer awareness group where she goes and speaks to people who are going through the process of breast cancer, who are also survivors. And she goes to these things twice a month and she speaks about her journey through breast cancer. And I think that's
awesome.
Fabulous because she gets to talk about her experiences that she's sharing with people who are going through it. And it also gets her out of her comfort zone because of her mental health issues that she also has. And, you know, I'm just so thankful for that because it's given her an avenue to get outside of the box a little bit and do something besides because I know how it feels to just get sunk in and you can't get out. It's very easy for any of us girls to just fall in this dark little pit and then can't crawl out for a while. And, you know, she's got something now that she can focus on. And I think that's fantastic because she really, I asked, she said she used to cross stitch. But she does something about her hands. She can't cross stitch anymore. And I didn't even know she cross stitched until she told me. And I think she goes out and rides her horse from time to time, but her horse is now retired. She's no longer jumping her horse or anything. She's pretty much retired from all of that. But she's doing chickens. She loves her chickens. And I'm like, I want some chickens. But I'm getting a look.
You are. I know you are.
He just gave me the look like.
You know, my daughter in Jacksonville has chickens.
Oh, lucky her.
Yeah.
Don't you want any?
No.
Well, no, because then you would have to have someone come to your house and feed them.
I don't want chickens. No, I was chased by too many roosters at my grandma's in Weewahitchka, Florida. No, I don't want chickens.
You know what we do with roosters who chase people? They end up being eaten. Let's eat it. That's what my mom would do.
But no, I don't want chickens.
Yeah. I just want hens so I can have fresh eggs. That's what I want them for. Anyone, it would be fun to common activity sewing and common likes quilting.
Yeah.
What was
on a cruise?
On a cruise. Gotcha. Okay, got you.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
I
that would-
agree.
You know what? I wish you guys could afford to just get on an airplane and fly to South Greenland and I could probably find someone to host a place for everyone to stay and us get together and sew together. And then you guys, you would have to come during the summer where we could go to the hot springs, and go to see the ice cap and go on an iceberg safari. Yeah, that was going to come out of my mouth. I called it the iceberg parade. But it would be cool to do that and still get to sit down and sew, at this, on whatever days. I would love for that to happen right here in Greenland.
Well, it will be, let them experience the summertime here with 24/7.
Yeah, and then there's the 22 hours of daylight. We're up to what, 20? Wait, I don't know how long. We're getting closer to June, so let me see how many hours we're up to on that now.
It will be fun to see.
Because wasn't it 11 o'clock when it got dark last night or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Let me see what the sunset hour is for now. Let's see.
I think it's 18 hours now.
(22:27). So that is 10:27 p.m. for sunset. Let me see what time the sunrise is.
But I remember those days. I'll never forget when we very first got to Anchorage in 1968. I was 10 years old and we were playing out in the quad, which was a playground surrounded by apartment buildings there on base. And my mother said, "Come in when it gets dark." So we
What
come
dark?
in and she said, and they were playing pinochle. My parents and another couple were playing pinochle. And I was out with their daughters playing kickball and, whatever. And, we came in around 10, but we didn't know what time it was. And they sent us back out. We came back in an hour later. They sent us back out. Finally, at midnight, I was 10, but the youngest of their children was only 6, and her name, I'll never forget, her name was Kimmy, and Kimmy was crying saying, "I'm sleepy, I want to come in." And my dad looked at his watch and they all just went, "Oh my gosh," because it was still.
Yeah. So
They mean the land of the midnight sun.
Yep. Sunrise is at 5:37 a.m. So that's, let's see, 10:30 be 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 hours of dark right now.
But what darkness?
I mean, right now, babe.
I know.
By June summer solstice, it will only be 2 hours of darkness. And I don't even know if you can consider the 2 hours of darkness because you can see the twilight. Sherry says, "I'm going to get you started on English paper piece and you'll be hooked. You'll say no. I say yes." Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, you're going to have to do some convincing on that one. We'll have to do it when I come next year and sit down. You can sit down with me and show me how to do it. Shirley says, "We have about 17 hours between sunrise and sunset." That's probably where we're at.
Yep.
Somewhere around that. Let me see if it says how many hours.
Far up north, it's 24/7.
It's already 24, right?
Getting close to.
It's the same as you.
No, far north.
We're talking about north of the Arctic Circle.
Done that. I was born above the polar circle.
Yeah, you were. You were born in Osceola.
Yep.
Of course, it's not going to tell me. I have to go look it up. Man, come on, Google. You're supposed to know the answer right away. All right. Let me see here. Where is it? According to this, daylight is from 5:35 a.m. to 22:27, which gives us 16 hours and 52 minutes of daylight currently. So we're slowly trudging up the longer hours. Robin says EPP is gorgeous, but it takes years to complete a quilt. Yeah. Shirley says, I had to count on my fingers. So we're right up there with you just about. It's hand stitching. Yeah, I know. I know. All right. Anyone else want to ask any? Oh, let's talk about the poll before I forget, like I always do. So the question was, which style of getting scrappy do you love the most? And the answers I gave or the options was FPP scrappy papers, which is what I was doing tonight, improv, string, or organized scrappy sewing. So it was interesting. We had 34 votes. 29% said FPP scrappy papers. 18% said improv. 15% said string. And a whopping 38% said organized scrappy sewing. So there you have it. Thank you all for putting in your votes on that. That's really cool, the dynamics of what people like. Sherry, I know I'm doing, oh my, Robin, how far along are you on your hexie? Her hexie, Myra has 12,000 pieces. Can you imagine? I can't. That's a lot of pieces.
I can't imagine.
How long have you been working on yours, Robin? And how many pieces do you have done so far? Inquiring minds want to know. Babe, are you anywhere near getting anything built?
Yeah.
Because I see chaos on the table. Oh, you got a truck done. Cool.
I got two of that.
Waiting on Robin to answer.
Yeah,
Throw something out, if I might,
Yeah, go ahead.
while we wait on Robin. So I bought a whole bunch of yo-yos already made, probably in the 50s, in a couple of bags. I mean, a lot of them for like not a lot of money. And I was thinking about what I was going to do with them, and I don't want a heavy throw, and it's not something that I'm going to let, a lot of people use. So it might be something that I just put on a bed or even a wall hanging. So what I thought I could do is just sew them all, hand sew the yo-yos together in a rectangle, and then sew a front piece and a back piece of fabric so that the front of the fabric shows through the holes, the holes where the yo-yos are joined together, the little things. But I don't want my backing fabric to be the back side of the wrong side of the material. So I was thinking I would have to do it 2 layers thick, but not use any batting because I want it just very light. Does that sound like it would make sense? And then so once I got my rectangle of yo-yos sewn together, then hand stitch them onto the onto the double-sided piece of backing.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
It does, but I don't know anything about the yo-yo thing.
Yeah, I don't either. I just saw them and thought they were way cool, and somebody put a lot of time and energy in there.
Yeah, I'm sure someone in here knows. Robin said she's done over 4,000 now, but she can't remember when she started last year.
Wow, that's great, Robin.
She got a third of it done.
Yeah, I'm very favorably impressed. You go, girl.
Yeah, that's a lot of pieces. Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
That's a lot of pieces indeed.
It's kind of like doing a Lego set, huh, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. And I was complaining about just 100 pieces.
Remember the first time I built Millennium Falcon?
That one was what, 7,000?
5,741 pieces.
Yeah, I knew it was pretty big. Robin wants to know, why would you do a double-sided backing?
Teak.
There's some. We can't hear you again. There must be something going on with your laptop. I kind of heard you just then. Keep trying.
So I'm green. So can you hear me now?
Now we hear you. Yeah, now we hear you.
Okay, so I thought about doing batik, but I will probably need the 108 backing, and I don't think batik comes in 108. I don't like to have seams on my backing at all. I don't like that. It's just kind of a quirk. I like one big piece of fabric. That's why, because I would not want the wrong side of the fabric to show through the yo-yos either. So that's why.
Oh, okay. They make some 108 batiks, but I'm not sure. Let me see if Fat Quarter Shop has any 108 batiks.
Different thing I could do rather than hand sewing the yo-yos to the backing is I literally could just do it in stripes, down the center of the yo-yos, and maybe even do like a grid. I don't know. I don't know. It's in the thought process right now. So I don't know.
Actually, they have 108s at Fat Quarter Shop, Myra.
In batiks.
Yep.
And batiks are the same on both sides.
They're starting. I've noticed that Missouri Star and Fat Quarter Shop has started offering 108s.
Well, my home quilting shop may. I don't know, but we'll see. I don't know.
Hang on, I'm going to send you the link so you can go have a peek, and at least you'll know what it looks like.
Thanks, sis.
You're welcome anytime. I haven't bought a 108. I just don't have anywhere I can stretch it out. I need to go find somewhere in town where I can just stretch everything out that's big and get the backs on them. Where is your messenger at? I know you're here somewhere, darn it. Myra.
Community center, a library, or a community center?
We have a community center and they do have tables there, and I'm wondering if I would be allowed to go in there and shove tables all together where I could do it there. I don't know who I would have to ask about that.
Church that has a community hall?
No, those churches don't. Neither one of them. At least that white church doesn't look like it does anyway. And the older church, definitely not. Because that one's very small.
What about the school cafeteria?
They don't have a cafeteria. The kids go home and eat or bring their lunch with them or go to the store and get something to eat. They don't have what we're all used to seeing with our kids. Robin also says Marshall Dry Goods in Tampa has 108s. I didn't know there was a Marshall Dry Goods in Tampa. Did you know that? You and I might have to go see what they got, because I hear people talking about that place all the time. You and I should go when I come to Florida again. Your mic is still not working. Yeah, there you go. Now I hear you.
Junior will be spending some time with Bill in the motor home because he has to be down in Largo near St. Pete because he has to go into work every day right now. The president, decreed that. And so we don't get to work from home. He doesn't get to work from home anymore. So we have a campground that I stayed for 21 months while we were in the middle of moving. And so he's back in there and he leaves the motor home there and just drives the truck home on Friday and then comes back on Monday night. And so I'll have some daytime free to go look around in Tampa. So I'm going to remember that. Thank you, Robin.
Hey,
I've never heard of Marshall Dry Goods, but I'll definitely check it out.
do you think the library has enough tables to put together and use that?
No.
I don't think so. Do you? Because I don't remember seeing that many tables in the library. Actually, there was only like one or two small ones. Y'all have to think. You have to think small.
Take sheets and do it on the floor.
No.
If not, take sheets, lay your sheets out, and then you can put your fabric on the sheets.
The reason I don't do it on the floor is I have trouble getting off the floor. You know that.
Well, yeah.
Because of my back mainly.
I know.
When I was younger, I could squat it down, but I can no longer squat down now. I will end up on my face. Yeah, I'll be on my face. Otherwise, I would do it on the floor because I don't have a German Shepherd anymore, so there's no excuse for that. We have two long tables, but I'm not sure that they're enough, and I won't know until we're going to be rearranging this area that I've been sewing in. We're just going to deal with the other half of it because I've downsized my plants and everything to open that area up in the other part of the living room, and I'm going to see if we can put two of these long tables side by side. Not just because I want to see if I can lay out a quilt on it. Mainly because I want my husband to put his tracks together. We've been married for 14 years and he's never had the opportunity to put all of his train tracks together and put his 17 trains on it.
Yep.
You have 17.
Yep.
Yeah, he's never had that opportunity. And so that's part of the reason I was dealing with this other half of the living room so he can. Because I want to make a video of his, let him get his fancy and do whatever he wants and then go in there and video the whole dang thing. I think that, nobody else might not enjoy it, but I'll enjoy it. Because it'll be really cool. How many of them got battery operated, babe?
I think most of it is battery operated.
So almost all of them?
Yeah, and I think there's 2 or 3 that is electrical.
Wow. I didn't realize they were all like that, or almost all of them. See, that would be really cool watching the trains going around. I wish we had high ceilings, because if we did, you could put a track around the top of the ceiling like what we saw in that fabric store that we went to, where they had that train going all the way around. I thought, wow, I wish we could do that, but our ceilings are too low for it. It's not possible. Laura says she's been practicing getting up and down from the floor. I don't want to get to the point where I can't. I can get up off the floor, Laura, but it hurts to do it, especially if I'm on my knees. Now, if I fall down and Nikolai's there, like the other day when we were down at the harbor, and I had sat down, I was sitting for a long time. I was sitting down on a rock where it was flat, where there was nowhere to like have leverage. And he come down there, and all he does is he bends down and gives me his arm, but he don't do any of the work. I use his arm as leverage to get my ass off the ground. I do all of the work. He doesn't do any of it. Now, he would do it if I asked him to, but I don't want him pulling me up. I still want that independence of making myself do it. Yeah. And part of it's my weight too. Everybody's, I know part of it's my weight as well, but mostly it's because the left side of my body, where that where those two prolapse discs are, they're sitting on top of these nerves that go down the side of my leg and through, well, it bypasses, it goes like down through my hip, down the left side of my thigh, and then it crosses over to the top side of my thigh. Then it crosses back over to the left side of my knee, which is weird. And then it runs down the side of the left front side of my calf. And we have noticed that my left leg has atrophy going on, meaning that it's shrunk a little bit. And when I try to stand up and put all of my weight on my left leg, I have noticed that if I don't have something I can hold on to while I'm doing it, I probably will fall down, because whatever's happened in my spine is what's causing that. Laura says, Katie, it hurts for me too. I have an extremely complicated medical history. I had more than 25 surgeries, but want to be independent as I could be. Yeah, I think for a 63-year-old woman, I'm getting around okay. I might be slower than usual, but I can put on the speed when I need to. You should see me trying to keep up with my husband. And then he'll say, you're breathing hard. I'm like, well, you're running a marathon. Mine's not a sciatic nerve, Robin. Mine's completely something else. Part of my leg is numb, meaning I have no feeling in it at all. You could poke me with scissors and I probably wouldn't feel it. Now, where there's numbness, if you go on the outer perimeter and you touch me with your cold hands, it's like someone shoves a knife in my leg. It's the craziest thing we've ever seen of what that mass of nerves is on the side and front side of my thigh. It's all right. It's located from my knee to about 9 inches up. And the size of it's about 9 inches long by 10 inches wide. If you ran it around the leg, that whole area there is affected. And sometimes I'll feel my toes go numb in my left foot. Not all of them, just like one or two of them. Suddenly I can't feel them. And it could be that I was sitting wrong or I fell down that day. And that's why I don't like to fall down, especially on ice, because usually if I hit the ice, it's going to cause an issue. So, so I try to wear spikes on the ice as much as I can, when we need to. But snow, I don't use spike on snow, but I do with ice. But yeah. Robin says she has to go. Love you too, Robin. All right, I should get off here too because I've been jabbering too long now. All right, see you tomorrow night. Tonight, wait, is it? Yeah, tomorrow night. Myra, if you want to, you can let me know in a messenger if you want to hop on. I'll send you a link.
Time tomorrow.
It'll be 3 p.m. your time.
I don't know if I can do it that early or not.
Well, you can always just hop on when you get done with whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I can just send you the link, and if you hop on when you hop on. All right,
Thanks.
you guys.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming. I'm sorry this took so long. Oh. Anyway, love you. Thank you for everything. Live, laugh, love, dream. What do you do with all that? You create something beautiful. Love you guys. Bye. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, where is the in stream? There we go.
Thank you.